After sudden death due to overtime, Chu Xi, as a Pokémon fan, came to a world with holographic games. Others use Ice Blast and Fireball, but he uses Rain Seeking and Sunny Day to bring shock to the field. Others are troubled by the competition of 5 summoning cards, but he uses the Breeding House to generate a 6th summoning card. Others finally killed his card, but he summoned a stronger card with evolution. In the world's most famous game, Phantom Card Legend, watch Chu Xi use the charm of Pokémon to win the championship. P.S. The author has only played Sword Shield and Chu Xi, and has not played Pokémon cards, PPS. First time writing Light Spray. Chapter 1. Chu Xi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It hurts so much what happened. Quiet surroundings. Chu Xi panted heavily and slowly sat up with his arms supporting his body. The pain in his chest just subsided. Where is this? It's not like his room. Chu Xi, who sat up from the ground, looked around and his doubts and perplexities were about to overflow. It's a bedroom, but the room is not big and there aren't many things to put in it. On the side against the wall, there is a bed, adjacent to a white metal desk and a chair, with highly technological glasses on the table. On another wall hung a poster of unknown material, which read, Legend of Virtual Cards. 7th Virtual Card Competition. What's going on? Didn't he just come home and unpack the package? How did it appear here? Time traveled. Calm down, first find the time machine. Let's first sort out the situation. First of all, it's obvious that this is not the decoration of my own home, and I'm not looking at the immature palms that I should have at my age. He should, perhaps, probably, have indeed traveled through time. Black-hearted boss, Chu Xi cursed inwardly. He should have died suddenly from fatigue caused by working overtime for 2 consecutive weeks before crossing over. Unfortunately, the Pokémon Water series that he just bought is a family bucket figurine for the 3 families, and he hasn't had time to see it yet. Even the new DLC Blue Disc by Chu Xi hasn't had time to play with it after watching the commentary. Ding dong. Just as Chu Xi was daydreaming, a voice came from his wrist. Looking at the smartwatch-like thing on his wrist, he tentatively touched it. A light screen popped up, and the icon with the words, Information, flashing on it. I won't be able to travel to the future world, will I? Chu Xi felt a bit depressed. If I were to travel back to ancient times, maybe I could still rely on modern knowledge to make a comeback and climb to the sky. What should I do in the future world? Ding dong, ding dong. There were 2 more reminders, and he clicked on the information. It was a debt collection notice issued by the bank, about 1 million yuan. Is this a text message scam? How could the future world have this too? Just as Chu Xi was still puzzled, the communication lit up again. Why is it still endless? Do you accept it? Hesitation leads to defeat, take it. I clicked on the communication, and across from me sat a strong man who looked around 45 years old, with a scar on his left face from top to bottom. He was wearing a white shirt and his chest muscles were so big that they almost overflowed the screen. Chu Xi, right. The rough voice sounded, you should have received the notification from the bank. It seems that this body is also called Chu Xi. Yes, who are you? My surname is Lin, Who said calmly. We used to contact your father before, and your father borrowed 2 million from us in the name of you and him. Chu Xi was slightly taken aback. He hadn't done anything yet, so why did he carry a high-interest loan on his back? Then you go find him, what are you doing with me? Didn't your father just be sentenced last month? A puzzled voice just sounded. Are you serious? Chu Xi felt that the sky and earth were spinning. Well, I'm here to inform you that if you don't pay off by next month's today, we will use your house as collateral according to the contract, Who said before hanging up the phone. No, he hasn't celebrated his departure from 996, car and housing loans, and social life yet. How could he be owed so much money? Also, this is true or false. My father was imprisoned with high-interest loans, and the sky collapsed. Forget it, let's see if there are any cheats. The system, exclaimed twice without a response, it's all over and there's no system yet. What should we do? But soon, he calmed down again. Let's first use this screen to see some useful information, Chu Xi said weakly as she looked at the search icon on the screen. Let's first check the basic information of this world. This is a world that seems to be different from the past. The name of a city, the geography of a country, and even the shape of a continent are different. History is not entirely the same, but culture and writing are not much different. Let's take a look at other software. August 20th, 2077 22.00 Well, date and time. Looking down, there are cameras and albums. Looking at the face in the camera that looks similar to the previous life. I'm quite young now, looking like 18 or 19. It's strange to say that I have traveled through time without the memory of this body. If I had the memory, I wouldn't be so frustrated now. With this thought in mind, he opened the album. At first glance is a group photo of 3 people, which should be the photo of the original owner and their parents. Suddenly, a dizziness struck, and the original owner's memories of their parents flashed quickly. Originally, the father of the original owner borrowed a loan to treat his mother. The mother of the original owner suffered from a rare blood disease that required a large amount of expensive medication. My father borrowed all the places he could borrow, sold all the things he could sell, and ultimately went astray, committing a crime of buying and selling fake drugs before being caught. My mother was not saved either. Good dog blood, are you serious? Thinking of so much debt, it's better to find a quick way to make money and avoid being homeless. Not long after searching, I suddenly received a push from Gino. #Glory Club Champion ## highlights of the 7th virtual card competition ## Chen Zhou vs Zhao Hao Seeing these push notifications, Chu Xi couldn't help but wonder, what is this? After a moment of silence, the topic was opened. You are my god. Lying in bed, I didn't expect Guanyao to really win. Chinzhou is my god. What's wrong with the dish? That Chao Minggu 3 cards hit 2 others, and in the end, they were flipped over. This is too much of a dish. Hauga's dog. Woo-woo, the water poison in Chaoming Pavilion is only 2 seconds away from winning, Hauga, my Hauga. Silent. I feel sad for the upstairs. Speaking of which, the 7 strongest unions only won the championship at the Longyin Hall. Ambitious. Yes, last year there was a Guanyao guild with him, but this year he's the only one left. If he doesn't win the championship next year, he's probably a second-rate guild. Lin's life is black. Lin's group is not good either. I'll just say that companies that don't even know the cards made by employees themselves have no future. Be serious. Everyone, the new card of the Glory Club, Priestess, is so powerful. It can heal, damage, and delay the outbreak of negative states. It's really a perfect auxiliary card. Really, indeed +1, plus 10,086, little profit. I'm going, everyone. The virtual card official is announcing a new type of card. Go and see. Seeing this, Chu Xi, who couldn't resist his curiosity, clicked on the official link. We need to add a spell card on top of the summoning card, which is a skill card that summoners can use in their hands. Please refer to the demonstration for details. On the screen, there seems to be a valley lined with strange stones, with 2 summoners standing above the stones. Below, a purple 3-eyed monster cat is roaring at a winged pig, with little health on its head. At this moment, the owner of the monster cat quickly took out a card with the words, Fireball, written on it, and then the card shattered. Flames shot out like bullets, killing the pig on the opposite side. This is not the holographic version of the Pokémon battle. Chu Xi was shocked for a moment, then ecstatic, I didn't expect to be able to play Pokémon here. That spell is not just a Pokémon skill. Driven by his interest, he opened the official website of the game and saw that it read, The Legend of Virtual Card. Chapter 2. Legend of Virtual Card. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the same time, in the captain's office of Gaming Club. The young man with a cold and aloof demeanor sat on a chair, holding a smart brain screen in his hand, with a cold light shining on his glasses. At this moment, the video of the final is playing on the screen. The cold on the body is about to frostbite the team member on the opposite sofa. Captain, go get the commander back quickly, whispered the smallest-looking team member, trembling. Why don't you go? Your family, Captain. I'm still a beautiful young lady and I don't want to die. The person speaking is the largest one here, Zhao Hao, 25 years old, with a dead fish eye, a straight-cut head, and a somewhat sleazy temperament. He is the oldest active player and widely recognized as the strongest in singles. Tang Tao. Zhao Hao. Angry voices exploded from the opposite side. Why don't you two reflect on yourself? Don't be angry, bye-bye. Zhao Hao's pleasing voice started. Didn't you expect their new card to have a negative effect of delaying? Oh. I asked you to bring more survival space, that's right. You asked them to bring a bunch of shields, that's okay with you. A broken shield can stack poison damage. His voice gradually disappeared as he watched Bai Fan's face become increasingly ugly. I'll go back and reflect on all of you, and surprisingly lost at our Yangqing home court. The team members stood up as if granted amnesty and tiptoed towards the door. Tang Tao stayed behind. A demonic voice sounded from behind. Under Tang Tao's restless expression, Bai Fan slowly spoke up, You're a newcomer this year and will participate in this year's rookie competition, right? After obtaining a definite answer, Alum proposed his task. In that case, you can participate in the online spell card making competition organized by the Lin Group 10 days later to practice your skills. In a brightly lit building, a pair of leather shoes walked back and forth in front of the desk. Lin Bao, the club almost didn't even make it to the top 8 this time. The owner of the leather shoes had a stern expression in his eyes, filled with anger. If I can't even do this little thing well, I'll have to consider changing my heir. Father, this was an accident. Next time, I will let the club win the championship, Lin Bao said cautiously. Lin Ke's mood was very bad, and his voice was even more angry. Next time, how many times are there? It's not as good as your big brother. I'm giving you a chance. If you mess up the game in 10 days, don't come back to see me. Big brother, I know big brother. When he left 3 years ago, he didn't stay. What kind of nonsense is he talking about now? Lin Bao only dared to say these words in his heart, but on the surface, he still said, Okay, don't worry, there must be no problem this time. As he walked out of this office, Lin Bao came across Lin Anning looking for him. Lin Anning's handsome face was a bit awkward. Dad, Grandpa didn't do anything to you, did he? Xiao Ning, how did you become the captain? Let's forget about it this time. Facing his ex-wife's son, he didn't say anything serious. Let me ask the new members of your club to prepare well for this game and wash away the shame. Yes. Virtual Card Legend is a globally popular holographic card battle game and the first holographic game that has been in operation for 7 years. Starting from the first year, the official will hold virtual card competitions with generous rewards every year. This has led to the emergence of many clubs and related industries. Cards are the most important part of this game. In addition to some built-in cards, players can also make their own cards. As long as they pass the card reading system's verification, corresponding holographic projections can be generated in the game. The numerical value is also an important component of this game, divided into 6 items. Life, object attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed. The overall value of each card at the beginning is the same, except for the distribution of the 6 sides. But the number of skills will affect the overall value, and cards with more skills will have lower values. Skills, rich and colorful skill effects, and unpredictable skill choices, greatly test one's intelligence. Attribute, 6 attributes, including water, fire, wood, soil, light, and darkness, do not have a restraining relationship, but will have a 1.1 times multiplication bonus on the value. Wood attribute adds life, fire attribute adds physical attack, water attribute adds special defense, soil attribute adds defense, light attribute adds special attack, and dark attribute adds speed. Race, also known as the second attribute, is a special attribute newly added to the 5th edition of the competition. In the past, there were instant death cards in summoning cards. In order to prevent the occurrence of instant death against a single attribute in the competition, both players only used instant death cards, resulting in a draw between the 2 sides, and the attribute was added. In this way, even if it is a card of the stagnant water attribute race demon, there are still cards of the water attribute race Lin that can be used. Chu Xi roughly understands the rules of this game and also knows the various attributes required to make cards. He clicked on Legend of Virtual Card with his hand. A crisp system sound came from the ear. Please connect the smart brain to an external device. Where did I get the money to buy it, Kengda? Chu Xi angrily looked at the virtual wallet with only 200 yuan left. Wait, external devices, glasses on the table. He quickly picked up his glasses on the table and observed. The shell with a flowing light texture and a crystal blue mirror surface shimmered with codes he couldn't understand. It looks like a holographic device commonly found in technology movies. The dizziness struck again, and it turned out that this was the most inferior product bought by the original owner with only the remaining money. This is his last hope, he bought it from his father's colleagues. He usually heard his classmates talk about various holographic games, but he never played them himself. I heard that many people get rich overnight in the game and are really desperate. It was only then that I remembered what my father had said. He had a fellow worker who sold various defective products and went to buy one. Before he could use it, Chu Xi traveled across the country. No, why is this memory still inserted? It's enough to think of whatever you see. No matter what memories are flipping through your mind. Chu Xi quickly walked to the table, connected his glasses to his brain, and then lay down on the bed. After putting on your glasses, click on Virtual Card Legend again. Sure enough, I remembered the mechanical sound again. Welcome to the Legend of Virtual Cards. We have detected that you are logging in for the first time, please create an account. Chu Xi quickly created the account according to the requirements. System voice. Please be patient, the system is verifying. Iris verification passed, adult. Please enter the character name and create an image. The game screen imported his image, and Chu Xi's spiritual light flashed, changing his image to a yellow-skinned mouse wearing a hat. As for the game ID, let's call it Pikachu to commemorate our past life. For Chu Xi, who had never played holographic games before, the experience of entering the game for the first time can be said to be very shocking. Flying in the clouds, swimming freely under the sea, watching the swarms of creatures in front of us, it feels like we have arrived in another world. Can shock the Chu Xi of Tubaozi so much. The system sounds. Welcome to the beginners area at number 1098 in Yangqing District D. Looking at the various functional icons in front of her, Chu Xi chose the middle, home mode. In an instant, he entered another space. Chapter 3. First Battle. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You can make, adjust, upgrade, and decompose cards in the home console. I couldn't wait for Chu Xi to hear the mechanical sound as soon as he entered. After carefully reading the game rules, he clicked on the card's logo. I saw 3 white cards displayed in the slot, with 3 small balls of different colors painted on them, with flames, leaves, and snowflakes on their heads. At this moment, the mechanical sound rang again. Congratulations to the player for obtaining the cards, Ice Spirit, X1, Fire Spirit, X1, and Wood Spirit, X1. Please carefully check the card attributes and then enter Adventure Mode for practical combat. Chu Xi picked up the 3 initial cards provided by the system and looked at them. Summoning. Ice Spirit Attribute. Water Race. Demon Level. 1 Basic Values. HP 100, Physical Attack 20, Defense 50, Special Attack 60, Special Defense 55, Speed 20, Critical Hit 10% Skill. Cold Wind, Special Attack that blows a cold wind within a radius of 300, causing 120% of the special attack's range damage and slowing down by 10% for 30 seconds, cooldown for 60 seconds, summoning. Fire Spirit Attribute. Fire Race. Demon Level. 1 Basic Values. HP 100, Physical Attack 66, Defense 20, Special Attack 20, Special Defense 20, Speed 80, Critical Hit 10% Skill. Flame Impact, Normal Attack, launching a flamed impact on the enemy's individual, causing 300% damage. 10% of the attack, this skill will cause 1.5 times the damage, cooldown for 30 seconds, summoning. Wood Essence Attribute. Wood Race. Demon Level. 1 Basic Values. 165 Health, 20 Physical Attack, 40 Defense, 20 Special Attack, 40 Special Defense, 30 Speed, and 10% Critical Strike Skill. Blossom, Healing, launching powerful healing on one's own individual, dealing 50% health healing, cooldown for 40 seconds, 1 group attack card, 1 single attack card, and 1 healing card. The 3 cards given are quite reasonable. It seems that the official wants players to use them excessively. It seems that in addition to attribute correction, the total value of the first level of these 3 cards is 300 points. I don't know what the full level is. Never mind, just give it a try and you'll know how to play the game. Click on the Adventure Mode, and Chu Xi's eyes will be teleported to a forest as soon as they turn black. The gentle breeze brushes against my face, and the tree shadows sway. This feeling is not much different from the real world. Before he could react, he heard the bright voice of the boy coming from above the tree in front of him, who under the tree, fight me. Chu Xi looked up and saw a little monkey with a red face on its upper half and a red scarf around its neck. It was carrying a bow and arrow, holding a stick and jumping off the tree like a flower gun. A bit cute, he thought, and a mechanical sound echoed in his ear. Please note that the maximum number of cards that can be summoned in this battle is 3. If the summoned object dies, the cooldown for summoning is 5 minutes. Chu Xi summoned all 3 of his cards. 3 small balls of different colors, emitting a faint light, with their respective elements on their heads, and 3 pairs of beans floating in front of him with confusion in their eyes. The battle begins. The monkey across from him summoned from the beginning, surrounded by 4 different facial masks. White, blue, black, and green. Chu Xi commanded his card attacks and movements, focusing on observing his card's attack methods. Just use mental power to control your movements, and you need to speak up and use your skills. Also, it seems that each card has 2 attack modes, melee and ranged, which is probably the function of attack and special attack values. Suddenly, the monkey flashed behind the wooden spirit and struck it hard. Mujing couldn't dodge and the word, critical strike, appeared on his head. After this strike, his health quickly exceeded half, and Chu Xi quickly used his skills to return. Taking advantage of this opportunity, he quickly used the skills of Ice Essence and Fire Essence to attack, not only breaking a white mask, but also destroying about 1/5 of the monkey's health. It is visible to the naked eye that the monkey's ranged attack is descending, indicating that the mask is buffing him. He was a numerical planner in his past life and was very sensitive to numerical values. The beginner's dungeon is still very simple, as he uses his skills to repeat the previous steps while calculating. After singing this line, the monkey across from him dissipated like sand. Congratulations on completing the beginner level. The levels of Ice Essence, Fire Essence, and Wood Essence have been increased to level 2. There are X1 fragments of Beijing Opera Monkey, X10 Light Attribute Crystals, and X1 Blue Sky Jade in Bamboo. Please choose to return to your home or continue exploring. Seeing that the cards had less than half of their health, Chu Xi decisively chose to return to the city. Returning home, Chu Xi quickly looked at the items obtained in his backpack. Crystal stones are used to break through levels. The maximum level of a card is 50 levels, and it needs to be broken through every 10 levels. And materials like Blue Sky Jade Bamboo are used to make cards. Beijing Opera Monkey requires 50 fragments to synthesize one, and its attributes cannot be seen before synthesis. As he watched, he suddenly thought of the purpose of his trip and quickly opened the mall to see if there was anything that could be monetized. Whether to enter the shopping mall at number 1098 in Yangqing District D, please choose System Mall or Player Store Street. If you want to go to a shopping mall in another area, please enter the area and number. After hesitating for a moment, Chu Xi chose to take a look at the System Mall first. Here, you can buy things with system currency, including crystals, potions, and various card fragments in the system. Basically, you can buy things you need in the early stages of the game here. After browsing through the System Mall in a general manner from top to bottom, he exited. I clicked on the Player Store Street in my area, and a familiar feeling struck me. When I opened my eyes again, Chu Xi appeared at the corner of a certain street. From his perspective, the starry sky in the sky is deep and mysterious, and the surrounding buildings exude a halo of extravagance. Metal vehicles glide through the air like shooting stars, and various advertisements are displayed on holographic screens around the buildings. Is this really? Is the outside world the same? Chu Xi walked slowly on both sides of the commercial street. There are many types of shops here, including coffee shops, clothing stores, jewelry stores, and of course, the most common are still card shops. It's great, and I can also invite friends who are far away to go shopping during my break. Slowly, Chu Xi noticed that there were more and more glances at him on the street, indicating that the tall yellow-skinned mouse was still too attractive. Looking around at the figures with human appearances, he awkwardly thought to himself, let's settle for what we have. Phoebe walked into a small card store. The texture of stepping on the lawn under one's feet catches the eye with images and reliefs of various plants on the walls. A fresh breeze brushes over one's face, and various cards float on the surrounding shelves. It seems to be selling wooden attribute cards. Then a tall and plump figure, not resembling a real person, gradually approached. Welcome to the Baimu card store. I am Mang Qing, a virtual shop assistant here. May I introduce you to you? Oh. This is really a rare image. Just as Chu Xi was about to answer, a warm sigh came from behind. Chapter 4. Shops. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Welcome back, store manager. The cold female voice rang out again. Looking back with the sound, a thin figure slowly walked in. As he approached, Chu Xi was shocked by the pink rabbit ear headband on the opponent's head. A man with a small beard, dressed in a jacket-like outfit, wearing glasses, and a tight fit, who looked gentle and rigid, actually wore a pink headband. It's just why his eyes are so sharp, as if he's going to eat people. It's not fluffy control, Chu Xi thought with emotion as she held her furry hand. This is my daughter's choice, cute, said the store manager Gushirbai with a smile, pointing to the headband on his head, as if hearing the other party's shock at his outfit. It's quite cute. Upon hearing this, Chu Xi also smiled. Hello, this is my first time playing this game. Can you introduce me to the card information in your store? It can be seen that apart from a few regular customers, hardly anyone would come to this store. Before Chu Xi could react, the store manager continued, let's go, I'll take you to take a look. Listening to the store manager's introduction, he made all the cards on the shelf himself. There are two modes for purchasing cards. One is to only sell data packets, and you need to make the cards yourself with materials. The other is to sell pre-made cards, which are much more expensive than the previous one. Carefully observe the various attributes of these cards. Well, as expected, they are all furry wooden cards with average values and skills. The people who make these cards don't seem to have much talent. What is this? Chu Xi pointed to a wrist guard with a unique pattern next to the card and asked. The store manager replied, "This is a virtual card reflection bracelet, which can map the summoning items of the virtual card to the real world. If you purchase it, I will mail it to you in the real world. Have a general understanding of the items and sales models sold in the store. Do you have a favorite card? If not, I recommend this one." Before he could answer, a new card suddenly appeared in the store manager's hand. "I just made it today." It seems like he just took it out of the game backpack, and the difference in personality and appearance of this store manager is too big. He has a lively personality. "Bring the card over." Chu Xi looked at it. On the card was a bear with blue flowers all over its body, its eyes filled with despair, tears dripping onto the ground with the dew. Summoning. Don't forget me, moldy bear attribute. Wood race. Beast level. 50 basic values. Health 7150, physical attack 1000, defense 500, special attack 100, special defense 300, speed 600, critical hit 100% skill. Don't forget me, increase your maximum stamina by 50% and receive ridicule for 30 seconds, cooldown for 60 seconds, flower bear move, physical attack, curl yourself up into a flower ball, roll back and forth on the ground, deal 200% of your physical attack and 5% of your health to the first enemy encountered, stop rolling, cooldown for 60 seconds, gray mold disease. Skill hits the same enemy, power increases, but reduces maximum health by 10% per hit. Information. The grizzly bear parasitized by forget-me-not, also suffering from gray mold, constantly wanting to bid farewell to pain through rolling. What does this information mean? Chu Xi asked. The store manager replied, "The system card does not have this, but the card we make needs to have this written because if the card reading system reviews two similar cards, the one with more reasonable information will be easier to pass." Reasonable. Is what you wrote very reasonable? Chu Xi's confusion grew even greater. Don't forget that I won't parasitize, right? The card of the Earth Grizzly Bear is the basic card of the system, and behind it are all dirt. Isn't it possible to grow forget-me-not in the dirt? The store manager said awkwardly, in the end, information is not really useful. As long as the logic is consistent, it's no problem how to spread your mind. Okay, this card skill set is a bit like rounding and rolling. Chu Xi's thoughts diverge. This card is my most proud work recently, do you want it? The store manager's gentle voice was mixed with a hint of nervousness. Well, I'm pretty good at it. After Chu Xi finished speaking, the store manager was clearly a bit disappointed. At this moment, the store manager's movements suddenly stopped. Wait for me, I'll go offline and answer the phone first. Later, he said to NPC Mang Qing in the store, please receive him first. Then his figure disappeared. Okay, let me continue to take a look, Chu Xi sighed. Lao Gu, is your store okay? If you can't pay the rent next month, it will be taken back by the system, said a middle-aged man in a suit with a plump figure to the store manager. You can appeal to the company and withdraw your lawsuit, and we will help you fight back against the online defamation of your store. We can also give you money to help you get through the difficulties. What kind of person are you pretending to be now? The online slander is not what you did. The store manager was clearly angry. I won't withdraw the lawsuit, you don't have to say anything more. It's been so long without a judgment, don't you think about the reason behind it? Besides, it's not worth considering just a few cards, is it? Looking at the silent store manager, the greasy man continued, the company won't treat you unfairly. Don't you still have a daughter to support? You may not even be able to afford to eat in the near future. You don't have to pretend to be kind. Those cards are my hard work, and as for my daughter, you don't have to worry about them, the store manager said firmly, thinking of his daughter and his cards. Think carefully again. The greasy man was clearly impatient. Upon hearing that the store manager had lost patience, he decisively hung up the phone. Weariness appeared in his brown eyes, and after a long sigh, he put on his glasses again. Not long after the store manager left, Chu Xi suddenly heard two beeps, like the sound of a mechanical alarm. Did you hear anything? He asked, munching in confusion. No, what's wrong, sir? Mang Qing's cold voice sounded, but to Chu Xi, it seemed to be separated by a layer of film. Just as I was about to ask what was going on, the store manager went online. Store manager, you're back, Chu Xi was the first to speak before Mang Qing could even speak. But just as she was about to continue speaking, Chu Xi's eyes suddenly turned black, feeling dizzy, as if she had a bad cold and a fever. Before the question could be asked, Chu Xi's consciousness fell into a dull darkness and her body slowly disappeared as she fell. Is everything okay? Why did I get so scared when I just went online? The store manager hurriedly ran towards him. This is the last thing he saw before falling into a coma. Chu Xi on the bed let out a long sound of breathing. A safety reminder popped up on the smart brain in your hand, warning. The A19 version of the light-edged glasses is too low, and it has been detected that you can no longer use these glasses due to your current mental threshold. Smart Brain has taken emergency measures. Chapter 5. Seeking Rain. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next morning, in Yangcheng, an old residential area. What happened? So hungry, someone woke up from bed with sleepy eyes. After a moment of confusion, Chu Xi recalled what had happened yesterday. Unexpectedly, he really traveled through time. He took his glasses off his face and weakly thought. Turning his head, he saw the reminder in his mind yesterday. This is really true. If you have money, you must change these glasses as soon as possible, Chu Xi sighed. He quickly flipped out of the bed and walked out of the room for the first time. He looked out at the relatively small living room and was a bit stunned. In the living room, the white walls reflect the faint blue lines, which gather in an orderly manner towards the distance. As these lines moved, Chu Xi came to a mirror that was 1 person tall, looked left and right, and then touched the surface of the mirror, but couldn't see any mystery. Let's first take a look at what we have at home to eat. Chu Xi's stomach protest almost made her lose her senses. The fingerprint verification is complete, the voice verification is complete, and the owner's needs are detected. The household elf 9527 is dedicated to serving you. A mechanical speaker, whose gender is unknown but also filled with excitement, spoke up. There is no food at home, do you need to order takeout? The transparent mirror instantly turned black, and a blue electronic face appeared inside. The 2 bean eyes vividly expressed the owner's emotions. That's the whole takeout, Chu Xi replied with some surprise. Considering your deposit, these are the most cost-effective takeout recommendations for you. After choosing the takeout, I carefully looked at the mirror across from me. Mechanical voice coquettishly said, whispering, Master, you have finally turned me on. And Master, you are too shy to look at me. What are you? Chu Xi felt a little nauseous. Have you forgotten me? It's normal. Who else is whimpering? Say a word and pause. Chu Xi roast. Oh, I am a basic household elf, and every house has been equipped with one since it was built. 9527 looked at Chu Xi with some curiosity. As for my personality, it was set by your father. Since that incident, you have turned me off and I have never used it again. It seems that the original owner did not want to use something that reminded him of his father. 9527 continued, also, my master, I just connected to the internet and found an email from Longqing Military Academy rejecting enrollment. I can tell that 9527 is very frustrated. Well, it's clear that the original owner was living a miserable life because his father was imprisoned. It's okay. Anyway, he doesn't really want to attend any military academy. Just as Chu Xi was still arguing with 9527, the takeout arrived and he went downstairs to get it. Just came out of the building and looked out. The gray sky was shrouded in shadows, and on both sides of the road were sparse trees, even a few withered. Even in August, it's a bit chilly here. The surrounding buildings look quite old and are an old community. Walking to the place where the takeout was being taken, there were some elderly people gathered there. Seeing him coming, someone immediately whispered to the person next to him, glancing at him with contempt, disgust, and vigilance in their eyes. Even the original owner didn't do anything wrong. Under their strange gaze, Chu Xi quickly picked up the takeout. As soon as he walked back, he was thinking to himself, would he still be so weak after crossing time? Of course not, it's all worn and he must be himself again. He can't swallow his pride anymore. He can accept this injustice. He just learned how to capture before crossing the river. What are you looking at? If you look at it again, it will blind you all. After saying this, Chu Xi quickly ran back. He felt a surge of joy in his heart, and there was nothing that couldn't go crazy in society. He just persevered. Returning home as quickly as possible, finishing the takeout and handing over the cleaning work to 9527, Chu Xi immediately entered the game. Just went online, he immediately went to yesterday's store. The store manager is not in the store, only NPC Mangqing is present. Are you okay? I scared the store manager yesterday, Mang Qing asked anxiously as she saw Chu Xi come in. Chu Xi replied, it's okay, it's just that there's something wrong with the glasses. The store manager isn't there, right? Do you need to contact the store manager now? No, Chu Xi replied after looking around at the empty surroundings, can you notify me when the store manager comes back? No problem, please leave your game ID and pay attention to friend requests. Listening to the cold female voice, Chu Xi exchanged a few pleasantries before leaving the store. Returning to home mode, Chu Xi sat next to the console and, after some thought, opened the card-making process. He needs to make a card as soon as possible for buying and selling, and earn a sum of money to redeem the house. After opening, you need to choose whether to create a summon card or a spell card on the screen. After thinking about it, Chu Xi chose the recently released spell card. After all, summoning cards have been made by others for 7 years, and he doesn't know what kind of cards there are. But everyone is on the same level for spell cards, and there is no fixed formula yet. The quality of making them depends on one's own imagination. Chu Xi took a deep breath and tried to concentrate as much as possible to think about the cards to be played. Iron-assisted, flowing output. Shockwave the world with the most classic rainy tactics from Pokémon. Let's be the most important center of the rainy team, praying for rain. Chu Xi found his way of thinking and excitedly clenched his fists and stood up. Glancing at the auxiliary painting tools on the console, Chu Xi sat down calmly again. Closing his eyes, he seriously thought to himself, how to draw on a rainy day, how many clouds to draw, and how many drops of rain to draw. Can it be too abstract? Forget it, let's draw it first before we talk. According to his own ideas, Chu Xi began to depict. After drawing, it's time to write the card information. According to her understanding of rainy days, Chu Xi filled in the card value. Finally, he looked at the various information on the iCard again. Magic. Weather. Prayer for rain attribute. Water target audience. Sight skill introduction. The weather is rainy. The power of water attribute moves will increase. The power of fire attribute moves will be reduced. Specific values. Water attribute damage x 1.5, fire attribute damage x 0.5, skill range with lightning and wind and skill description expanded by 50, and skills that use light to attack and recover will all have a value of x 0.5. It may be linked with other spell cards and replaced by other weather conditions. After checking, Chu Xi decisively chose to submit. There are probably too many cards in the database, and the review time is very long. 10 minutes, half an hour. Just as Chu Xi was so bored that he was about to fall asleep, a long-lost mechanical sound came to his ears. The card review did not pass, and the value of the card is too high. You need to impose some restrictions on it. Are there any restrictions? Chu Xi carefully compared his own cards with the spell cards in the system store. I roughly know where to make the changes, so I modified the values and submitted them again. Chapter 6. Selling Cards. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Card review passed. You need to engrave your unique logo on the card as proof of copyright. The mechanical sound of the system made Chu Xi extremely excited. Once it passed, let's use the Q version of the Pikachu logo. Print Pikachu on the back of the card, and the card is ready. Then a golden light flashed, and a phantom card with a blue halo floated above the console. Did you really succeed? Chu Xi patted her face twice and quickly picked up the card to carefully examine it. A few abstract clouds on the front, with a few blue water droplets painted under them. There is a big Pikachu smiling face in the middle of the back. He looked at the various attributes of the card again. Magic. Weather. Prayer for rain attribute. Water target audience. Sight skill introduction. The weather is rainy. The power of water attribute moves will increase. The power of fire attribute moves will be reduced. Specific values. Water attribute damage x 1.5, fire attribute damage x 0.5, skill range with lightning and wind and skill description expanded by 50, and skills that use light to attack and recover will all have a value of x 0.5. It may be linked to other spell cards. Limitation. Duration is 5 minutes, cooldown is 5 minutes, and can only be used once per battle in official matches. It will be replaced by other weather conditions, and it will be invalid if there are more advanced weather conditions. Indeed, the stronger the restrictions, the easier it is for the review to pass. Spell cards are different from summon cards. As long as there are enough restrictions, the value can be increased to a very high level. The total value of summoning cards is fixed, and even enhanced skills will not be increased significantly. Finger pointing on the front side of the card slid down, and the new screen displays the materials needed to make the card. It seems that to complete the card, we need to go to the dungeon to brush the materials. Just as Chu Xi was still feeling smug, his system friend suddenly flashed. The store manager returned and checked the list of friends he had applied for. Suddenly, a plush bear avatar with a hair clip appeared. Agreed to the friend application, and a message was sent from the opposite side. Are you yesterday's guest? Are you okay? He said with a hint of concern. It's okay, it's okay. Are you still in the store? Chu Xi asked. I just arrived at the store and I'm probably staying here for half a day. Do you want to come over? The store manager sat on the sofa, typing aimlessly. To be honest, the store manager is not confident. They may have come to tell him for humanitarian purposes. I guess it's just my first time playing a game without reading store reviews, otherwise I wouldn't have walked into my own store again. Hey, when I saw it yesterday, I thought I could sell a card. I'll be right over. After typing this sentence, Chu Xi immediately teleported to the entrance of the shopping street. Looking around, Chu Xi walked non-stop towards the Cypress card-making shop. You're here, do you want to buy the card from yesterday? As soon as Chu Xi entered the door, he was caught by the boss with a dazzling gaze. Well, today I'm wearing a pink bear ear headband. I came to ask if you accept cards. I have an original card here, would you like it? As she spoke, Chu Xi saw the light in the store manager's eyes go out in a flash. Selling cards should go to the black market and some large shops, where there are many card collectors, the store manager said, somewhat disappointed. Store manager, take a look at me. As a newcomer like me, even if we cooperate with those places, my card cannot be sold quickly. To be honest, I need money very much now. So usually, only stores that can't keep going and want to make a move will have the possibility of promoting my card. Chu Xi spoke these words without any hesitation, and the store manager's face grew darker and darker. Hey, even if it's a fact, don't speak so openly. Looking at Chu Xi's firm gaze, the store manager didn't continue. Never mind, since you are so persistent, I believe you have great confidence in your card. Let me, a master with 6 years of card-making experience, show you how it goes. In fact, he felt that what Chu Xi had just said was right, and he didn't have much confidence in Chu Xi either. After all, he was a newcomer who had just played the game, so how could he possibly create any excellent cards? What kind of summoning card is it? It seems that this person never thought it was a spell card. It is a water attribute spell card. Spell card. That kind of card that gives summoning beasts a similar skill, what's there to make? You wouldn't just randomly find a card and stack a skill down, would you? The store manager stared at it with some suspicion. Chu Xi was already prepared for suspicion, and even prepared for ridicule. Of course not, you can take a look first, and then you can estimate and pick up the money, which would be even better, he said, then hand the card to the store manager. The store manager pushed his glasses and looked at the card in his hand. TSK, what an abstract picture, I sighed for a moment. Then he started looking at the values. This is... The store manager couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. Are you really a newcomer? He really didn't expect anyone to make spell cards like this. Unlike most people's spell cards nowadays, this card maximizes its auxiliary abilities. Although it only looks a bit limited, there are no other cards that can affect the weather at the moment. This is simply a standout. How about it? My card is pretty good, isn't it? When the store manager looked at Chu Xi again, he felt that he was shining behind him. Is this the genius of business card printing? No, it's really shining. The store manager asked in confusion, what are you doing, Mangqing? Putting down the lights, the cold voice answered with a hint of venom, it's been a long time since I saw you behave like this. It's so interesting, I can't help but feel it. If it weren't for my daughter, I would have restored you to the factory settings a long time ago, said the store manager in a fit of frustration. Watching the master-slave playing with treasure, Chu Xi laughed heartily. Before, he might have felt a bit speechless, but since going crazy, he even wanted to get involved. Upon hearing the laughter, the store manager turned to Chu Xi and said awkwardly, hey, the cards you made are very good. I can work with you, but there are actually some issues with our store. Then the store manager told Chu Xi about his predicament. That means we have to face countless negative reviews and sell our cards. Do you still want to cooperate? Well, that's it. Let me formally introduce myself as Chu Xi. The game name is Pikachu. That's the decision. My name is Gu Shibua, you can call me Gu Gu. You also know my game ID. Angry Xiong Xiaoga. There's also 100, brother. The store manager is really a bit cute. Alright, now we need to find a way to sell the card. The store manager touched his chin and said, given the current situation in the store, we need to find a way to showcase the advantages of this card to as many people as possible. Hi, how about we go play a game? Chu Xi raised her hand and asked. Chapter 7. Magic Card Making Competition. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After thinking for a moment, the store manager replied positively, I think what Chu Xi said was very constructive. However, large-scale competitions are only available for clubs to participate in, and spontaneous folk competitions lack attention. After much thought, everyone can participate, with enough attention, and only recently, only the Lin group, one of the top idiotic groups in Yangcheng, holds a magic card making competition. Tisk, it's really unlucky. The store manager hugged his chest and said with a disgusted expression on his face. Then let's join this. Chu Xi said nonchalantly, ignoring the manager's expression. Although looking at the store manager's appearance, one can tell that he must have had something with the Lin Group, and it is estimated that the miserable situation in the store was the result of the Lin Group. I'm still a bit curious. But it's about money. Chu Xi still decided to participate in this competition. You are too firm. Chu Xi felt that the store manager was still too pretentious. Do you have a better way? Besides, if we win the championship, won't we retaliate fiercely against the Lin Group? Pulling his sleeve, the store manager said in silence, winning the championship. Let's just say you've just played a game, haven't you ever fought against anyone else? The Lin Group's match happened to be before the rookie tournament, and it is estimated that the newly recruited club members who are carefully preparing for the tournament will not participate. Club seniors also do not participate in such novice competitions. But Longyin Hall, a subsidiary of the Lin Group, will definitely participate. After considering the pros and cons, Chu Xi and his team decided to participate. But is Longyin Hall a very strong club? Chu Xi scratched his head and asked in confusion. The store manager didn't want to admit it and said, "Are you really a Earthstar? Although you haven't won a championship, he is also one of the top clubs established when the game first started. Just pretend I'm not. Can you tell me about the love-hate relationships of these clubs?" Chu Xi asked excitedly, pulling the manager's sleeve. The store manager, who withdrew his sleeve, was speechless and said, "You better hurry up and take a look at the rules released by the Lin Group regarding this competition." Chu Xi blinked his eyes and begged playfully, tell me, just tell me the strongest ones. After I finish, I'll go see the rules. Hey, I'll tell you the basic information." Rubbing the goosebumps on his arm, the store manager began to explain. First of all, you need to know that combining cards with the same attribute will result in a lot of buff bonuses, so most clubs will choose a certain attribute as a feature. This can not only enhance people's impression of it, but also facilitate the recruitment of new players who are interested in this attribute. And the strongest 7 clubs are all in this situation. Chaoming Pavilion, which is good at water attributes, Free Energy, which is good at fire attributes, Xingxiangzi, which is good at wood attributes, Shanghai Heavy Industry, which is good at earth attributes, Guanyao Club, which is good at light attributes, and Evil Souls, which is good at dark attributes. There is also Longyin Hall, which used to be the best at fire attributes but now uses almost everything. Chu Xi asked, was it the most? At the beginning, its strongest fire club was selected by everyone based on the ranking of the first conference, but in the 6th conference, the new club's Free Energy created a mechanical family card and defeated the Dragon family card in the Dragon Song Hall, winning the championship. Therefore, its strongest title was given to the Free Energy by everyone. The store manager said somewhat gloating, "You deserve it. So why wasn't it pulled off? A skinny camel is bigger than a horse." Even if it's like this now, Longyin Palace is not something that other second-rate clubs can match. However, if they don't win the championship again next year, it's hard to say. Alright, that's all for now. Hurry up and check the competition rules. Okay, there's a spell card making competition, right? Chu Xi, still unsatisfied, opened the latest announcement on the rules of the competition released by the Lin Group. On September 1st, which is 9 days later, a spell card making competition. Youth spell competition will be held online. 3 system cards will be drawn during registration for this competition, and each competition will be played in a 3v3 single-player match. Points will be earned based on performance. After 3 matches, the 64 individuals with the highest ranking in points will enter the main competition. During the main tournament, elimination matches will be held, and system cards will be drawn again for each match. The maximum number of spell cards that can be used in each game is 3, and they must be self-made cards. The registration deadline is 3 days. The reward for winning first place is 1 million yuan, and there is also a 30% discount coupon from a mall under the Lin Group. Watching the chubby paws of Chu's polyps, I drew to the comments section. Lin's whole life is black. In order to save face for himself, he even organized a competition specifically. Is Lin's group sick? You're right. Look at my name, and it's still being held before the rookie tournament. Isn't it just a decision not to let other clubs participate? I am Dragon Mom. Don't talk nonsense, our Dragon Song Hall only participated in response to the official newly created spell cards. Water System Suckling Dog. Sisters, are you serious? But I heard that a newcomer will join Chaoming Pavilion. Let's fight. Really? Sisters. How long have you had the inside story since the announcement was issued? I'm speechless. After all, if Lin wants to host the round of the top 8, he must have communicated with the official team and other clubs. You're right. It seems there's no suspense about this competition anymore. If we ordinary people can make it to the quarterfinals, it's considered a burning sensation. While Chu Xi was happily reading reviews, the store manager spoke up and urged, haven't you finished reading yet? Hurry up and sign up for the competition. After jumping to the webpage and filling out your participation information, you will enter the tense and exciting lottery stage. Ignoring various formalities, Chu Xi quickly clicked 3 times on the screen. After 3 sounds of ding, 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 blue, brown, and purple cards flashed across the screen. 3 cards that don't look very good. Chu Xi looked at the basic information of the cards with great interest. Firstly, there is a blue card with a picture of a dengfish standing on both feet, with buck teeth and a bear claw fist. Summoning. Bear claw buckfish attribute. Water race. Scales level. 50 basic values. 4000 HP, 3000 physical attack, 200 defense, 1300 special attack, 330 special defense, 700 speed, and 100% critical strike skill. Bear push strike, normal attack, launches a powerful impact on a straight line 50 by 500 in front, deals 330% damage to the first person hit, freezes for 10 seconds after attack, cooldown for 300 seconds, having both fish and bear. Passive, numerical increase, the rising part x 1.2, numerical decrease, the falling part x 1.2, medium speed double swords. With a small skill range and a hard and straight stance, it's a very abstract card. Shaking his head, Chu Xi continued to look at the second card, hoping it was a good card. Opening the brown card, I saw that it read. Toad Dried Corpse. Chapter 8. Start of competition. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Summoning. Toad Corpse attribute. Soil race. Monster level. 50 basic values. 8000 HP, 100 physical attacks, 1100 defense, 100 special attacks, 300 special defenses, 0 speed, and 100% critical hit skill. Millennium Poison, negative, will be applied to all enemies when playing, with 5 negative effects. Poisoning, cracking, burns, frostbite, and suffocation. Each negative 10 seconds will cause a fixed 130-second health damage, which can be stacked with the same name effect, drying and sandification, passive, unable to move, losing 1% health per second, unable to be healed by other summoning cards' talents or skills, a clay card with a thin toad painted on it, legs sinking into the ground, and eyes bulging, which is very frightening. The drawing is so disgusting. How could there be such a card? It's a DOT, damage over time, card with more negative than positive effects. The skill can add various attributes for continuous effects, but this version doesn't require so many attributes for DOT. Forget it, the next card. This card has a strong visual effect. Chu Xi touched his chin. Where have you seen it before? I saw a mouse with one ear painted on this card, and he was still wearing a red qipao with companion printed on his chest. Summoning. Rat Bridesmaid Attribute. Dark Race. Beast Level. 50 Basic Values. 3000 HP, 2000 Physical Attack, 200 Defense, 1000 Special Attack, 300 Special Defense, 3300 Speed, and 100% Critical Strike Skill. This world is too crazy. Normal attack, dealing 120% damage to the enemy's physical attack, ignoring defense, and applying cat and mouse marks, cooldown of 10 seconds, the mouse serves as the bridesmaid for the cat, linkage skill, in the same battlefield as the cat bride, the speed will not decrease, and the value will increase by 25%. A card with many flaws, super fast, not enough damage. When Chu Xi didn't know where to start roast, a furry head crowded over. I know this card was sold to the system store by evil souls a long time ago and was once popular for a while. Seeing Chu Xi's silence, the store manager leaned over and looked at him, but what's impressive is the other card described in the linkage skill, the cat bride, and the mouse bridesmaid, which is more like an auxiliary for hanging marks. How did you draw this card? Show me the other two quickly. Chu Xi hesitated a bit and shared the picture with the store manager. What kind of thing are these? We don't know how to go on a round trip, do we? Looking at these three cards, the store manager let out a roar of collapse. It's over, it's over. Why did you draw 3 defective cards? These 3 cards can't keep up with the version anymore. Looking at the store manager walking around in front of him, Chu Xi couldn't help but wonder, what is a defective card? A defective card is a card sold by the card maker to the system store. Sometimes, if the value is not controlled properly and a major error is left, but through the card reading system, most card makers will sell this type of card to the system store. I see, I didn't realize my luck was so bad. How about finding an opportunity to worship in the temple? The store manager's anxious accent erupted. Why aren't you in such a hurry? I've figured out what card to make to pass the preliminaries. Upon hearing Chu Xi's words, the store manager also calmed down. Are you different from yesterday? I just figured out some things. I'm no longer confused. Anyway, as long as you can sell the rain-seeking card, let him go. By the way, you probably haven't fought against anyone yet. Well, are there any differences in rules between PvP and PvE? The biggest difference is for the sake of viewing, PvP will increase a fixed proportion of health, which will not affect the skill of attacking based on the amount of health. For example, the competition we participated in this time should have increased health by 5 times. After speaking, the store manager and Chu Xi planned to prepare for the next few days. In summary, it's about playing materials, creating new cards, and then becoming familiar with the battles. It's still a bit difficult to complete everything within 9 days. But the most important thing now is. The store manager gave me some money to pass these days safely, please, Chu Xi pleaded with her hands clasped together. Do you have no money at all? Chu Xi sighed and told the store manager about the original owner's experience. Your experience is not much different from mine. Alright, I still have this little money. As long as you can compete well, I'll give you an early investment. When it comes to investment, how much do you plan to sell this card, store manager? The store manager thought carefully for a moment and said, we don't have the money to hire someone to print the materials, so we can only sell the data. Let's sell 100. After discussing the details again, Chu Xi returned to his own home as time approached. Sitting in front of the console, Chu Xi began making new cards. He needs to first make all the rainy day series cards, and depending on the situation, he also needs to make series cards for other weather and venues. This is the dividing line for 9,527 ordering takeout for 9 days 1 hour before the start of the competition. The store manager and Chu Xi sat in the store waiting for the opening ceremony to begin, chatting casually. To be honest, I used to have a hard time believing in talent. But the cards you made these past few days have completely refreshed my perspective. Chu Xi said hesitantly, I can only do it with the inspiration of others. He hasn't slept much in the past few days and is now very tired. However, after thinking about the gains these days, he feels that they are worth it. The store manager was afraid that Chu Xi would be too inflated and worried that he would be too nervous. He said with some hesitation, there is still a big gap between you and professional players in command, but with your imaginative cards, there is still a possibility of winning the championship. Don't worry, store manager. I will win. A cold female voice sounded from behind. I and the store manager will be watching the live broadcast in the store to cheer you on. Chu Xi was startled and said, Sister Mangqing, can you please don't appear behind people? But thank you. The store manager took a sorrowful sip of the holographic lollipop as if smoking and said, she's just like that, but it's almost time. You should go now. Dragon Song Hall, let me, Tang Tao, come and meet you. A person wearing provocative clothes, combing the nose of a plane, and applying hair gel said. After looking at the watch, it's time to leave. But I'm really handsome, Tang Tao shook his hair and thought to himself. Our Dragon Song Hall will definitely win one of the 3 contestants from the Dragon Song Hall. Only the newcomers from Chaoming Pavilion have some strength in this competition, said the person in the middle. Chaoming Pavilion only has self-created cards with strength. This time, using system cards is more about command. In terms of command, we are not inferior to any newcomers. A voice came from outside the door, Zhao Gan, Xian Wen, Sun Chui, the trio competition of Gan Wen and Chui is about to start. I think they haven't seen the true meaning of spell cards yet. But now, the competition begins. Chapter 9. It's raining, leisure travel. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Welcome to the Yangqing Halo Arena. This is the largest arena in the legend of virtual cards in the Yangqing area. Located in the middle of the entire holographic city of Sheep, connecting various areas of the city. The appearance resembles a huge Roman arena, surrounded by doors of various shapes, some magnificent, some full of childlike charm, and some comical and humorous. Approaching, I found different game logos written on different doors, such as National Professional League, Virtual Card Conference, Guild Competition, Yangqing District Ranking Competition, Entertainment Competition, Youth Skills Competition, Qing Shu Competition. After seeing the sign, Chu Xi immediately walked over and saw many contestants halfway through. I took out the invitation letter in front of the door, checked the information, and got 3 cards for the competition before walking in. Upon arriving at the crowded arena, Chu Xi's heart began to beat violently. Nervous or excited, he couldn't distinguish between them. I didn't expect him to be able to participate in events like the Pokémon conference. The furry hand held onto the chest and took a few deep breaths. After calming her heartbeat, Chu Xi lifted her head and scanned everyone in the room, then lifted her foot and walked inside. You see how cute he is. Yes, why didn't I expect to look so cute back then? Upon hearing these words, a blush rose in my ears and Chu Xi walked faster. If we had known that everyone was humanoid, we wouldn't have needed the image of Pikachu. This is the boundary line for the end of the opening ceremony once again, it's the tense and thrilling card drawing session. This time, let's draw the opponent. Chu Xi looked at the big screen and pressed the stop button in his hand. This time, his opponent was a big sister. Is there a competition in 10 minutes at venue 106? Then we need to hurry and leave. Walk to the venue, stand on the opposite platform, and look towards the other side. Across from her is a beautiful woman with long red wavy hair, a curvaceous figure, elegant and passionate temperament. Despite wearing glasses, she has a more passionate feeling than intellectual. Little brother, you're stunned. How's it going? Sister is pretty, isn't she? Lanya said jokingly as she looked at Chu Xi, who was clearly dressed as a boy, with a cute image across from her. Very beautiful, I'm Pikachu, please take care of me. I'm very honest, sister. My name is Yaya, and I'm a game anchor of all sizes. I won't let any water out of this competition, little brother. Just as the two were still communicating, a mechanical sound burst out. In the scene extraction, the combat scene for this battle is grassland. Lanya confidently said, "Is it an endless grassland? It has an advantage over the cards I draw. Come on, little brother. I won't lose." After speaking, both sides took out their cards. Mechanical sound. Please put the summoning card into the open card slot and the spell card into the dark card slot. Countdown 10, 9, 8, the game begins. A live broadcast room of a major anchor. The anchor wearing a yellow and red gradient wig said, "Let's go, brothers, take you to see the beautiful women." Several layers of barrage drifted through the live broadcast room. "Duffy, you must be taking us to see Sister Yaya." "That's right, I just came back from Yaya's live broadcast room, and she's about to go on stage." Anchor Duffy said, "Since you all guessed it, buddy, it's just Yaya. Let's go." "By the way, didn't you also participate, Anchor? Don't you need to prepare?" Duffy replied, "Brother's competition is in the afternoon, and besides, I am different from your Yaya sister. I am a technical anchor." "Is the anchor serious?" "But I just looked at Yaya's opponent and found out that she is a newly registered newcomer. I guess I saw the reward urgently registered to participate. So it seems that Yaya has won." "I think you're right. +1 return to the field." At the moment when the countdown ended, the land below the battle platform rapidly changed. The grassland area is the most straightforward and simple image in this game, with no interfering scenes and the most suitable for large-scale group attack skills, as there is no place to hide. At this point, both sides begin to summon their cards. Chu Xi had just summoned his own fish, a mouse, and a toad when he observed the cards summoned from the opposite side. 3 large-scale group attack cards. White Dragon, Fire Spirit Dragon, and Explosive Flame Drum. Chu Xi happily said, "No control, no treatment. 2 fire attributes, 1 using light to attack, Tianka, win." In the live broadcast room. "Brother Pai, what kind of garbage card did you summon? It seems there's no more suspense in this game. If Yaya loses this game, I'll eat my brain. Winning is guaranteed, it's impossible to lose." Obviously, Lanya also thinks the same way. The first to take action was the faster Fire Spirit Dragon, whose wings ignited flames, and the shaken spark spread throughout the field with its agitation. Dida Lanya suddenly looked up at the sky and said, It's raining." Just now, small raindrops gradually formed into patches, finally occupying the entire sky of the site. Lanya's 3 cards start with a total attack, showcasing all attack skills towards the entire field. After the skill, except for the toad, there was not much reduction in health on the opponent's field, even the toad only reduced by February 5th. Even if the other 2 cards hide behind the toad, the damage is clearly abnormal. Is it this rain? While Lanya was still thinking about breaking the game, her 3 cards were suddenly enveloped and exploded by mud and sand that appeared directly below. The Millennium Poison of Toads has erupted. TSK, the ability to cause trouble, and also be careful of the momentary stiffness when it erupts, but that toad won't live for 2 minutes, so don't worry about it for now. This rain has such a strong effect that it should not last long, and only that fish on the opposite side can deal damage. That fish's speed is not as fast as mine, you can first surround that fish. Waiting for the rain to stop or besieging. Waiting is not my personality. He waved his long red hair and casually took out 3 spell cards. 3 spell cards that act on the summoned object itself, 1 accelerating flowing light, 1 single-point explosive flame dragon roar, and 1 ascending swamp that forms a pause position around the summoned object. Let the white dragon run quickly to restrain the fish, and let the fire spirit dragon dance in the sky gradually approaching, generating a pause position where the skill can reach the fish. I saw a white creature harassing an ugly fish on the screen. The fish swam fast and slow, and finally had to stop and fight against the opponent's 2 cards. On another battlefield, there is a mouse constantly attacking a reel. It's time to add another flame. You think a scraping mouse can stop me? Use the flame dragon roar in the explosive flame drum. Lanya said, crushing the last spell card. In the distance, the explosive flame drum suddenly flashed with red light, and a constantly moving dragon-shaped imprint appeared on the barrel. The energy of the flame at the barrel mouth kept gathering, and when it reached a certain limit, the destructive beam suddenly shot out. I've been waiting for it now. Chu Xi curled her lips and took out a card. At this time when the skills on the opposite side have been used up and there are still people left alone. I saw on the card that spell card. Additional features. Ease of travel. Chapter 10. Cats, knocking the gong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Spell card. Additional features. Ease of travel, attribute. Water target audience. Summoning card skill introduction. When it rains, the speed will increase. Specific value. In rainy or heavy rain weather, the speed capability is doubled. Limitation. The target is a water attribute card with a speed of less than 1500, which cannot be stacked with additional cards with other characteristics. The speed of the bear claw buckfish is 1000, which is the standard medium speed, but with the enhancement of leisurely swimming and the combination of fish and bear, the speed will reach 2200. Although not as fast as the mouse bridesmaid, the mouse bridesmaid's 3300 speed is also considered outstanding in guild cards. After all, besides the speed, the mouse is useless. Once accused of its fragile body, it will drink hatred towards the northwest. Return to the scene. The brilliance of the explosion dissipated, and there were no more fish in their original position. Did you take it down? Lanya pondered to herself. No. I didn't hear the broadcast. Where is it? She quickly looked around. I saw a little blue light shining around the fish, almost swimming around the explosive drum. Why so fast? We need to get back on defense as soon as possible. As long as 3 cards come together, we can catch a turtle in a jar and win this game, Lanya muttered to herself. She, who was commanding 2 cards to defend, clearly did not expect the breakthrough strength of the high-attack water system cards on rainy days. As soon as her card returned to her own half, she realized that the explosive flame drum had only a trace of blood left. Right now, bear pushes fiercely. I saw the bear claw buckfish wrapped in water all over its body, and the water from its head converged into a bear head. With its claws on its chest, it quickly collided with the 2 cards on the opposite side. Why are you still so fast? A card with such a high speed boost cannot last for so long. Before she could take the next action, the skill on the opposite side had already ended. On the scene, the opponent's explosive drum has been harvested, with 1/6 of their white blood remaining and a trace of their fire spirit dragon's health remaining. Chu Xi's fish and toad only have silk blood left, and the health of the mice is relatively healthy. While the bear claw buckfish was still stiff, the fire spirit dragon was burning with all its strength, and the white light regained its health, Lanya exclaimed anxiously. As long as you kill the 2 cards with remaining health on the opposite side, there is still a chance to win with the white spear that can heal. Just as the wings of the fire spirit dragon ignited flames, trembling gravel suddenly appeared around the body. The millennium poison has erupted. The fire spirit dragon has become stiff and its skill usage has failed. Use one more. Before she could finish speaking, a red shadow suddenly appeared behind the fire spirit dragon. Fortunately, we arrived, Chu Xi said as she saw the mouse bridesmaid bullying her. On the field, a mouse wearing a red cheapao suddenly appeared with an iron drumhead in its hand, swiftly swiping over the neck of the red dragon from behind. This world is too crazy, ignoring defense and killing instantly. I looked at the 2 cards that had already disappeared, and then at Bai Gui, who had not received a few drops of blood. Lanya said dejectedly, I lost. After another round of attack and defense, the mechanical speaker spoke. The battle is over, Pikachu has won. Please have the winner come tonight at 8 o'clock to draw the next round of opponents. After the sound, Lanya walked over, little brother, it's really bad. That rain was really pouring down, sister. I'm feeling powerless. Sorry, are you here? Oh, no need to apologize. Sister, I came here to see what kind of card you used to defeat those defective cards, Lanya said curiously. It is impossible for both sides on the battlefield to know each other's dark cards, while those watching live broadcasts outside can see the dark cards that have already been used. In fact, you can see the other party's card as soon as you go out. Lanya is here to see if she can purchase the card made by the other party and deepen her understanding. After all, the size is also half of a technical anchor, and by observing the on-dot side effects, one can roughly see the strength of the opponent. It's not a disadvantage to know a capable card maker more. After a chat, Chu Xi told her the card information and purchase location, and requested to advertise during the live broadcast. Lanya said with interest, these 2 cards are really imaginative. If there is a chance, I will mention them in the live broadcast room. Let's go. The next game is coming. The battlefield has been restored to its original state, and the 2 people who have finished the game are walking towards the door and talking. If the last Millennium poison hadn't broken out, would you still be able to win? I will win, Chu Xi thought for a moment about the last card that had not been taken yet. Lanya flicked her hair and said, you're so confident. Sister, I have to look forward to your next game. In Dafei's live broadcast room. What about the one who just mentioned eating smart brains? I'm waiting to see. Those 2 spell cards are so strong, I didn't expect that spell cards could still be linked. Well, Yaya lost, it's a pity. But who knows where the store Pikachu mentioned is? I know, but that store is full of negative reviews and not many people go there. Really? I used to want to go, but let's forget about it now. I don't care about any negative reviews. These 2 cards are so strong, I definitely want to buy them. Not many people are willing to go, but the store has finally opened. Inside the Chao Minggu Club. Zhao Hao walked up to Bai Fong with his intelligent brain and said to him, Bai, look. I'm not interested in watching any anchor Yaya with you. Do you think I am this kind of person in your eyes? I showed you the card made by this person. After explaining to Alum, he continued with his gaze at Scum, what do you think we should bring the people over? Let's take a look after the game is over. I want to know what other cards he can make, said Bai Fan with interest. Zhao Hao said somewhat gloating, okay, but our strongest newcomer is in trouble. Returning to the store, Chu Xi looked at the excited store manager, who was also somewhat excited. He could probably guess what had happened, but after so many days, the cards were finally sold. Seeing him return, Mang Qing's cold voice rang out. You're back. Congratulations on winning. Are you planning to rest in the store now or go back to rest? Chu Xi thought for a moment and decided to stay in the store, while also helping the store manager. At 8 p.m. Chu Xi has started drawing on his opponent again, this time it's an uncle. Seeing this person, the store manager quickly came over and educated him, I know him. I'll tell you, I just looked at the cards summarized online for various players to use, and he has a card that can defeat you and your mouse. Is it? The store manager didn't make a fuss either. That's right, it's a cat bride. Chu Xi looked at the information about the cat bride brought up by the store manager and fell into contemplation. A white cat wearing a phoenix crown and xia pei, holding a copper gong in its hand, looked out of the card with delicate eyes. Cat bride is a card for special attacks against imprints. The sound of a gong will cause link damage to enemies with imprints, restoring health to our side with imprints. The more imprints on the field, the higher the damage and recovery. No matter what kind of mark is effective, if it is a cat and mouse mark, the effect will be doubled. This is really, tomorrow's battle has become interesting.